Atony Clark. You can just call me Tony. I'm retired Air Force, so anyone that's not Air Force, I apologize. Don't hold it against me. My dad will not allow me to join the Army and the Navy. I was scared to death of it. I'm not going to lie. I did 20 years in the Air Force. I retired in 2013, 7 long years ago. This is my 5th job since I retired from the Air Force, and I'd like to hit that really hard when we start discussing transition. This is my 5th job by choice, and that's the one big thing you'll notice as you transition out the luxury of choice. So the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to do this presentation about information technology. Okay, let's see. Can you see it on the screen?
Yes.
Okay, so let me see here. Let me try to pull this up. Okay, move out of the way, please. Okay, go to the first screen here. So, information technology. I know that a lot of times when you hear IT or anything computer based, it's intimidating. It's overwhelming. A lot of individuals that have never really done anything computer based tend to shy away from it because it's a lot. It's not as bad as you think it is. It really isn't. It's just a matter of, just like with anything you did in the military, you apply yourself, go through the training, follow the Yellow Brick Road, and you'll get there. And that's the way information technology is. So we're LeaderQuest. We're an information technology institute. What we do, in short, is we assist any individual that wants to get into cybersecurity, networking, or anything computer-based, to include project management. We could help you get through the appropriate course, and then we also help with gainful employment. So as you're going through programs, we will sit with you, look at your resume, give you some good feedback, and as your resume gets completed, we will send it up to the hiring manager, to whatever organization that you're interested in, and we do partner with a ton of them. So that's the great thing about what we do. And I'm going to go through these slides. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm notorious for not following slides, but trust me, when I'm done, it may not be the last slide. I'm just going to let you know that ahead of time. Some of our partners that we work with, Workforce Innovation Opportunity Act is through the Workforce Solutions Alamo. I definitely partner with everyone on this call. That's a resource to include USO. I'll tell you, USO helped me find several employment opportunities, and I'm thankful for them. Texas Veteran Commission helped me as well. So moving forward, so why cybersecurity? If anyone is aware of IT in general, it's growing quickly, rapidly, so fast that a lot of these organizations can't keep up. And I mean the accrediting organizations, your CompTIA and whatnot. So as we move along into the future, we all know that everything's going to start moving towards computers, and computers. And that's just the way it's going to be. That's the way our community is going to grow. It's going to be all computers at some point. And with that being said, there are going to be a ton of jobs that are going to open up, and opportunities, salary wise, and everything else. Oops, gone too fast. Okay. Certifications. Now, I'll tell you, there's a misconception out there about certifications as opposed to degrees. Now, I'll tell you this: certifications are very important to find gainful employment in information technology. Having a degree, I can sit here and tell you that, you know, all the cliche stuff. You know, it's a great thing to have. It can't take it away from you. It'll help, you know, and broaden your horizons. With IT, it very well it works the same. Now, certifications are important. That's the first thing. Degree, guess what that does? It maximizes your ceiling for salary and positions. To get in the door, you could have a high school diploma and certifications, and you can get a job in cybersecurity. If you happen to have your degree, and several whatever else you have, you know, master's degree, whatever it is, it will obviously coincide with you being veterans. And I'm gonna tell you, the company's not gonna let you hide for very long. You can sit there for a couple minutes in your seat, maybe a couple months, but they're gonna ultimately look to move you along. So I'll tell you, without the certifications, the degree really It depends on the company. It's going to be difficult to get in the door. So certifications are very, very important. If you want to go into Department of Defense, any DoD jobs, they're going to tell you if you want to go into IT or help desk, have Network Plus or Security Plus. Okay. So this screen right here speaks for itself. 72% of employers are using IT certification as a requirement for specific roles. That's exactly what it is, and it's going to just increase as time goes along. Okay, um, there was a time where, and this happened in DoD. That, believe it or not, they would allow you they would hire you in a position in contingent with you getting done with a certification, whatever it is, and being enrolled and getting done with Security Plus, A Plus, whatever the case is. That is starting to disappear, and as you can see, 72%, and that's just going to keep increasing. Accredited employees are measured as being 60% more efficient than non-certified colleagues. That right there, I don't know, that percentage is going to probably hover around the same, because there's some individuals that, there's guys that are 10 years old that are, or young ladies that are 10 years old that will tear a computer apart and put it back together. And you're like, wow, how did you do that? And they just have the knack to do it. So I would tell you that number may not move a whole lot. But bottom line is, the consensus is that if you have your certification, you're just more efficient. Okay. So when you take courses at LeaderQuest, they're all credited. And what that means is you'll get college credits for it. Where exactly? I couldn't tell you that, but they do count towards credit hours. More than likely, it's going to fall into your elective, unless you're in cybersecurity or IT as a major. Okay. So here are some of the ACE accredited courses. A lot of them are CompTIA, EC Council, and so on and so forth. There's many of them, and there's more. This is just to list a few. Okay. Potential career paths. Here are some of them. Yes, you see project management over there on the right. Believe it or not, it does fall into IT also. Project management falls into everything. That's the beauty of that certification. When I retired from the Air Force, I'm gonna tell you an honest 100% story. I was trying to find work and I couldn't find a job. So guess what? I had my post 9/11. I went back to college and got another bachelor's degree. And I was talking to so I was on the phone with the counselor, and she asked me a whole bunch of questions about my background, and I answered all of them. And she goes, "Have you considered project management?" I'm like, "What the heck is that?" This was in 2013. Well, as I was going through the classes, I tell you, I would find myself chuckling and laughing, because I'm like, "You got to be kidding me." I know all this stuff. They just didn't have names, processes, or anything else. So I'll tell you, if anybody on here is transitioning, you're obviously transitioning out, look into this, because we've done it across the board, every branch. It's just we don't realize we're doing it. Okay. Infrastructure and tech support, networks and systems administration, cybersecurity. If you're in San Antonio, Texas, you get off the plane at the international airport, it says, "Welcome to Cybersecurity City." No lie. There are so many cybersecurity IT jobs here in San Antonio that they can't find enough people to fill them. And they're just going to increase because of many different companies. Booz Allen, to name a few, one of them, they're bringing their hubs to San Antonio. Where they're going to put their buildings, I don't know, but they're going to be here, and jobs are just going to increase, and they're really good paying jobs. Here's one of the examples of infrastructure and tech support. As you can see, job outlook, um, position titles, great opportunities. Now, the salary obviously will vary depending on your level of experience and with your certifications. Bottom line, but as you get your foot in the door, there are going to be times, if you're a beginner, if you're a newbie to the cybersecurity realm, you might walk into the door and not be making the salary that you really want to make. I'm here to tell you, as you gain experience, your salary is definitely going to push. Just it's always growing, and it's always evolving, always increasing. Okay. Let's see here. Computer user support specialist. This program is probably the most common one for our company, and the reason why is because we do have an inordinate amount of people that come through our doors and say, "Hey, I want to get into IT. I have some idea about how to do, do some of the stuff that is required. This one gives you the foundation. ITIL Foundations is basically the foundation, the concrete foundation underneath the house. It's almost like taking Spanish 1. That's the best way I can equate it to. CompTIA A plus is like taking Spanish 1A. It's all the, taking apart, putting together computers, the hardware, the software, the whole nine. Network Plus and Security Plus branch off in a fork. Networking goes this way, cybersecurity goes this way. So this is the most common one as you go through. This program is actually 25 days long. And the way it works is simple. ITIL Foundations, you start off with 3 days of in-class. Well, now it's online because of the COVID-19. 1 day of review, and then you take the actual ITIL Foundations certification in class as a final exam, which that's the only one that does that. All the rest of them, you have to be in a monitored room where everyone's looking at you on camera, making sure you're not cheating. You can't take your phone in there, that kind of situation. All the rest of them will be that. So if you were taking this program, ITIL Foundations, 5 days, A plus, 10 days, Network plus, 5 days, then CompTIA Security plus, 5 days. So ITIL Foundations, ideally you'll knock that out right away. You'll go through A plus, you'll go through Network plus, and you'll go through Security plus. As you are finishing Security plus, we usually encourage you to take your Security plus certification at least within the 2 weeks after you finish, so it's fresh in your mind, and it's arguably the most important certification to get your foot in the door. ITIL Foundations and Security Plus. ITIL Foundations or Network Plus. You get 5 test vouchers for this course, so you get 5 chances to take the test. And if you don't pass it for some reason, we have instructor mentors, we have different resources. We want you, it's in our best interest to get you through these courses, and because we want you to find gainful employment as soon as possible, because bottom line, that's what this is all about, okay? Networks and system administration, here's the outlook. As you can see, the current national average salary is about $79,000. May not be that high here in Texas. They're saying average. What I've seen in Texas, it's about 48 to 60, depending on experience level, but it's pretty good. Network administrator. This is an advanced, more of an advanced course, CCNA training. It's a challenge. But if you have finished with your basic, like your computer user support specialist, a lot of times this network administrator would be a great addition to your certifications. Cybersecurity. Here's the big one. And obviously I'm not up in Fort what's the base up there in Killeen? Anyone?
Fort Hood.
Fort Hood.
Fort Hood. Okay, I'm sure. I'm not sure if most of you are near that area or wherever you are, but I'm not sure what the outlook is there. But in general, the outlook for cybersecurity is really high. I mean, it's a great industry to jump into. You don't have to have experience to get into cybersecurity. You just have to get the certifications and get your foot in the door. After you do that, sky's the limit. I mean, it is huge. Cybersecurity, in short, is you have your network. It protects everything. Anything that tries to get into your network is the job of the cybersecurity specialist. So they got to make sure no one gets in. Like for example, I think it was a couple years ago, Target was hacked, and everyone got in there and got all this information off their computers. It's your job to make sure that doesn't happen. Information security analyst is also an intermediate level one. This is more the cybersecurity and hacker. You want to be a hacker, this is the kind of program you want to get into, but usually if you're a beginner, you want to go through the computer user support specialist first before you consider this. Now, if you're one of those people that could read something one time and memorize everything, which I'm 100% jealous of whoever can do that. I can't remember my name every day. So that's awesome. If you're one of those people, you might be able to pass this course, but here's the catch. If you get through these programs on this one and you get hired, they're going to have an expectation of your experience. And last thing you want is to be sitting in a room alone trying to do a job you have no clue what you're doing because you just happen to be a photographic memory person. Okay, so this is one of those programs where it's a little bit more intermediate. and it's only 15 days long. Project management, here it is. Project management is huge. I'm telling you, you can point to any company, anywhere, and they need project managers. What is project management in general? I'm gonna summarize. It is you are the manager of a project. We've all done this in the military. Your job is to get a team together. You more in military, we had teams appointed. Here you get these 5 people, you get these 7 people. You're the manager. You get to be the one to tell everyone what the project is, what you guys are going to be doing, what days you're going to be doing it, who's assigned to what, and suspense dates. That is project management in a nutshell. Anyone on this call can do it. It's just a matter of getting the paper in hand, the project management professional certification. Now, is it easy? No, it's difficult. Otherwise, everyone would be walking around with PMP certifications. But it is very likely that if you have served, you will have the capacity to grasp the concepts and ideals in project management. I encourage each and every one of you to look into it. There are so many programs out there right now that are free with COVID-19. You have Onward to Opportunity. You can go through the orientation and get the courseware and the certification for free. There's so many different places you can do this. Look into it, please. Just kind of watch a video, read on it, and look at it, because I'll tell you the salaries are insane. I actually applied for an IT project manager job, and the salary started at $98,000 a year. And I'm sitting there in the interview saying, "Hey, I'll take 70. Just give me 70. I don't need 98." So definitely look into this. Oops. So project intensive industries. Here's a snapshot of all that. As you can see, IT services is right there. And this again is a sum of everything. Okay. The PMP Certification Overview. This is kind of the way it works. If you have a high school diploma, there's more of a requirement for hours. So you have to have 16 non-overlapping months of project management experience, 7,500 hours leading project management tasks. For military members, it's kind of a challenge. Reason why is because you have to verify that you have 7,500 hours. Usually with that situation, you'll reach out to your, the general or the colonel, or your commander or your superintendent and say, "Hey, how you doing? I hope everything's well. By the way, remember those projects I did? Can you certify that I did them?" It's that simple. For the bachelor's degree, it's 36 months of non-overlapping months, 4,500 hours. So it's different for both. And then of course the PMP education, and then the exam. So for LeaderQuest, our different opportunities, under a normal circumstance, we have daytime and evening classes, both live at our campus in a classroom with a live instructor. As you know, with everything going on right now, that is not the case with most companies, to include us. We're doing everything online live. So it's going to be just like this, but live. They share the courseware. You can ask questions and chat and do the whole 9. Now, once this all clears up, I'd like to think that at some point in the future we'll go back to live, but right now safety's is paramount, and we all know that. Here's the part that I like to pound into each and every person that walks through our door. Career services is important. Why? Because you're there because more than likely you're trying to find a job, or if you have one, you're just trying to enhance your portfolio with the certifications. Our career services manager, job readiness, they're very, very interactive with every person that walks through with resumes, pointing you in the direction of resources like the USO, like Onward to Opportunity, like Dress for Success. We want you to be successful. We want you to be able to find gainful employment. That is the most important part. We all put our hands into this, to include myself. On a daily basis, I am calling companies and saying, "Hey, we got veterans and non-veterans that are ready and willing to work. Let me send you these resumes." Warm handoffs are always going to be the best alternative to finding employment. If you can get a warm handoff, the only thing you have left to do at that point is knock out the interview. Okay, so that's really, really important to us. The funding stuff, I don't want to get too deep into this. Bottom line is that you have different opportunities. Obviously, the VBA benefits, which I'll talk to you about a little bit later in the next segment. Workforce centers. I tell you, the workforce centers are a blessing. They have so many different resources. The misconception is you walk into a workforce center for unemployment. That is not the case. They have so many resources there that you can take advantage of. It's simply just a matter of you applying and following the guidance, and they'll either say yay or nay. But definitely look into the Alamo Workforce Solutions if you do stay in in Texas. Okay, Department of Veteran Affairs, Department of Defense. There's different options for funding when it comes to our programs. And that's all I have for this segment. Does anyone have any questions? Let me see. I got to try to unshare my screen. Okay, how do you stop here? It's right there. Any questions about anything I just mentioned with cybersecurity or IT or our LeaderQuest?
Okay, now before the questions, I just wanted to make a couple of comments, if that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we have some ladies who weren't on the previous call, but my name is Sharon Stewart. I'm the Women Veterans Coordinator for Central and South Texas Veterans Commission. And I wanted to say that during part of my time in the military, I was a signal officer, communications officer. And one of the reasons I asked Antony for an assist to come talk to us, because I'd heard him mention during the previous meeting some of the phenomenal statistics associated with being part of the cyber community. And I figure in the age of COVID-19, in the age where you see so many people facing job loss, some of these certs and some of these certificates, you saw the figures for yourself. So I was just astounded and encouraged, quite frankly, encouraged with some of the statistics that he shared. And I want to tell you from firsthand experience, when I was a TAP counselor, I had a Navy E5 transition. He showed me his job offer. He had a job offer for $60,000 because of PMP. So these certs are very, very beneficial. Here I was with a master's degree and working for TAP as a contractor. I was making at the most $36,000 after 2 promotions. So invest in yourself, invest in these certificates. And thank you, Antony, for telling us about the workforce centers. I didn't even realize that. And that's thank you.
No problem. And and thank you, Sharon, for first off. And that's the one thing I'll tell you is that with cybersecurity, IT, any kind of IT job in general, guess what? This COVID-19, I'm not seeing a light at the end of the tunnel. I mean, I'm very thankful that they're opening up organizations and they're giving us more access. But there are a ton of remote opportunities that are coming open.
Exactly.
That's why we're still live. So just keep that in mind. Yes, ideally, do I want to work at home every day? No. I need to get out, get in the sun. But if it's an opportunity, and I am thankful that I am able to work remotely, but just be careful with that. Make sure you really look at what your needs are, but definitely look into this because it is all remote. Okay. Any questions about cybersecurity before I move on to transition stuff, the fun stuff? Okay. All right. Well, if you have any questions, I'll put my information in here at the end of this. Actually, I'll put it in there right. No, I'll wait till after. I'll put my information in there. I won't take too long, and then you can definitely reach out to me on one. I'm always available. Okay. Now, transition. Here we go. I'm going to give you my self-testimonial story first. And it's terrible. Okay. I'm going to tell you right now, I sit here a humbled man. My transition was the worst documented transition ever. I went through my, TAPS briefing, whatever you call it in your respective branches, which is a week-long, in a mandatory course of you getting all these resources so that you can transition out. I did that. Checked off all the blocks on my out processing checklist. Moved along. Thought I was the man. I had my degree. I was a retired E7. I was a shirt. I was a drill instructor. Protocol. I should be able to find a job. No problem. Well, I had this silly-eyed notion that I wanted to retire on the beach. So I went to the Panhandle of Florida. Don't laugh. I know most of you are laughing deep down inside. Panhandle of Florida is beautiful. Period. One road. Anyways. I regress. So I went down there and I was like, I got 3 military installations. I should be able to find a job, no problem. 6 months later, when I had a beard and I'd gained about 25 more pounds, and I'd watched Sports Center so many times they could have offered me a job. I finally
Okay.
found a job making minimum wage.
Yeah, yeah.
And you know why I found a job was because I went to a Workforce Solutions Alamo equivalent in Florida. I know, my bad. But Teal, she was raised in Pensacola. I like their mall. You know, I got a job at the Workforce Solutions Alamo equivalent in Florida, helping veterans, and I was making $7.50 an hour. I tell you, one day I had a guy come in, and I was doing his work in Texas equivalent profile, just the profile with all your information on there, and he said he was retired '06, which is a colonel. Okay, and I'm like, so I go, sir, so where are you currently working? He goes, Waffle House, and I was like, sir, don't.
Oh,
I was like, it's 2 o'clock. Don't play with me. Coffee's not working. I'm like, seriously, where do you work? He goes, Waffle House. And I'm like, you work at Waffle House? He goes, yes. I'm like, okay, by choice or by necessity? He goes, by necessity. I'm like, okay. He was a Air Force Special Operations Commander, AFSOC, which is Combat Control Pararescue. That was his job, and he's working at Waffle House, managing Waffle House. Anyone been to Waffle House? I'm here to tell you, they got great food. I hate that we don't have it here in San Antonio, but he was working there, and he smelled like it when he walked in. So I helped him with his resume, and he got a job in Miami, Florida, making $100,000. When I saw that, it scared the crap out of me even more than I was already
yeah,
scared. So I ended up
yeah.
moving back here to San Antonio, and it took 6 more months before I found a job. You want to know how I found a job? USO and networking. Okay, that is going to be, I tell you, it's you have to get out of your comfort zone sometimes, and you have to be willing to do stuff. I'm an outgoing person, but I have to get to know people before I do that.
Right.
I'm more than happy to hide behind a computer and do what I have to do there. If it wasn't for the networking, getting out there and shaking hands, smiling, meeting and greeting people, I think I would have found a job eventually, but it would have been very, very difficult. So that was my story. Now, 5 jobs later, now the one thing about transition is this: you obviously want to find gainful employment. That's important. I think we can all make a debate that and say, hey, we want to just find a job. Hey, if that's what your situation is, I'm happy for you. You should definitely do that. But what you're going to find out is this: if you don't find the job that you truly are passionate about doing, that that love affair with your job is going to last 6 months to a year before you're saying, this is not working for me. I need to find something I love doing. Okay. So reason why I mention this is the first thing you want to understand about transition is this: find out where your passion lies. Find out where you will just never ever feel like you're working. You love it. You're always happy. You're waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning, getting your run and going to work and smiling. Like, why do you smile so much? I love being here. Find that job. Okay. If you want to go back to when you were in a recruiter's office, and if you had a good recruiter when you were joining the branch, they wanted to understand why you walked into their office and you said, well, you read off the brochure, better education and opportunities and opportunity to travel. No, what are you doing here? Ask yourself that question. What is my true need? It's called the need behind the need. Well, what do you need? What will make you happy? Because you have that choice now. Okay. You have the opportunity. The fact that you're here on this call is great. Okay. Because you're taking the bull by the horns, which I did not do. I failed at that miserably. Okay. That's great that you're doing that. If you get anything out of this, definitely know that you should be here and you should look for any other organizations that have events. USO has a ton of them. Okay, I'm telling you, get on their site and RT put the link in there and get on there and just start inviting yourself to everything and anything you can. It's an hour or 2 hours out of your day so that you can get to the end result. Okay, understand what it is that you want to do, understand where your passion lies, and go get it. Find out what you need to have. Make a list of stuff. Okay, if you want to be in cybersecurity, make a list of things you must have. Cybersecurity plus, PMP, whatever it is. Make a list. Make it visible. If you're a visual learner, put it in front of you. Put a wide erase board on your wall in your bathroom. When you come in and brush your teeth, you look at it every morning and say, I need to get this done. Okay? Find out what companies are a good culture fit for you. Okay? Do that because, again, we're military members, we're veterans. We can't turn that off. We try, but we just can't. Deep down inside, we change some things, but we can't. We need that. We need the structure. We need the professionalism. We need the ops tempo. Whatever it is you need, look for the company that'll give that to you. You simple. You go to their site, read their mission statement, read what they're about, read their history, and you'll find out if it's a good fit or not. Talk to some friends. Get on LinkedIn. You know, the one thing about LinkedIn is you can legally stalk people. Okay, you can actually get on there and stalk them. You go, what is it? Human resources manager for USA. Boom, there's a list. I'm like, I want to get you, and you. What do you have to lose? They're not going to answer your email. Oh, well, okay. But if they do, guess what? You get to ask them some questions. Hey, I'm really interested in working at USAA. I just want to understand what is the culture fit for veterans? How do you guys, what is it like? And they'll kind of tell you. A lot of their videos are on their site. So, secondly, location, location, location. Where do you want to live? You don't have to live in Killeen, San Antonio, Pensacola, wherever it is that you transition out of. You don't have to be there anymore. Where do you want to live? Do you want to live in New York? You want to live in Los Angeles? Find a city that really fits what you want and what you need and what you desire. Okay? I have a friend that I was stationed with in Minot, North Dakota. Yes, I just said that. Minot, North Dakota. It is cold as heck up there. I'm telling you. Anyways, she lives in Spain doing that. What is that show that's in Las Vegas where they climb all the stuff? What is that stuff called? Um, it's like a crazy show. They're climbing these poles,
Ultimate
jumping.
Warrior? The Ultimate Warrior, or
No, it's a show in Las Vegas. Anyways, she does
Ninja
that.
Warrior.
What's it?
Ninja Warrior.
No,
American Ninja Warrior.
no, it's
yeah.
not. It's not. It's like a performance, like a theater.
is that Cirque du Soleil?
Cirque du Soleil. She does a Spain equivalent of Cirque du Soleil. She did 4 years in the Air Force. She posts all the time. Obviously right now it's tough being in Spain, but before that I was like, man, I'm jealous of you. She's in Spain living her life. Right now she's obviously not because of the circumstances, but find where you want to live. Find where you can find your ideal job, make the ideal money that you want to make, and have the support. Okay? Next, self-care. I'm a man. I'm stubborn. I light a candle. I'm a stubborn man. We're all stubborn, women, men, whatever the case is. We don't like to admit that there's something wrong. Deep down inside, in places we don't let people see, because we're veterans and that's what we are, we don't like to discuss it. We just keep it inside. We've dealt with it for so long that it's not a big deal. I'm used to getting 3 hours of sleep. What's the big deal? I'm used to having a drink before I go to bed. What's the big deal? I'm used to yelling at cars that drive by, even though I know they can't hear me because they cut me off. What's the big deal? This is the time where you really want to dig deep and soul search. You joined the military one way, you got out a different way. No matter what you do or what you try to do, you are not the same person that you came in as. And that's okay. That's what we do, okay? Basic training, when I was a drill instructor, I broke people down, I built them back up. That was my job. I yelled at them. I made them do push-ups. I made them run all over the place. I made them march. It is what it is. Self-care is important. It's huge. For me, I was that person that didn't. I'm good. I looked in the mirror. I'm good. What's the problem? Took my family telling me something's wrong with you. Please go get help. Okay. Now, did I do it right away? No. So I'm stubborn, and I'm admittedly stubborn. I'm getting better at it. So self-care is important. What Sharon mentioned earlier, I'm glad she said that. Disability claims there's so many different perceptions out there about doing disability claims, okay? I'll share some personal information about myself. I'm a very healthy, active 47-year-old man, and I'm 100%. Now, if you look at me, do I look like I'm 100%? No. I feel like it sometimes. The bottom line is this. Disability claims are your right to do as a veteran. If you're transitioning out, it is your right to do it. Please, I am begging you, do the disability claim for one reason and one reason alone. Once you separate, and if you have families or if you're, single, whatever the case is, significant other, it stops being about you. It starts being about your family. Because guess what? When you retire from the Air Force, you become a Social Security number. You get the blue ID card. You don't even get the fancy, common access card. You get the 1975 old school, card. And if your picture looks cool, great. If not, they don't care. My picture has a line through my face. I was like, I'm good. And no disrespect to the military branches. They have to move on. People are always coming in and replacing. That's just the way it works. Your family's there to pick up the pieces and welcome you back with open arms. And they just want to understand how they can help you. They want to understand what they have to do to help you get through the crisis or situation or whatever it is. Disability claims don't solve all your problems, but it definitely gets you in the door to start looking for help. Okay. Not to mention, again, knees, back, shoulders. There's so many things out there that you can claim. Presumptive conditions, for example, presumptive conditions they're presumed because you served, these conditions have now come about. One of them is post-traumatic stress. Now, post-traumatic stress also has a stigma. You have to be waking up out of a dead sleep, sweating and, trying to swing on people. No. There's combat and there's non-combat post-traumatic stress. Combat is you're in combat, free and clear. Non-combat is depression, anxiety, alcoholism, anger, whatever it is, night terrors. Because of this, military has caused all these problems, okay, that we don't want to face. I tell you, 95% of the veterans have it. I deployed 7 times. My post-traumatic stress is from recruiting. No kidding. I looked at that psychologist and said, you must be crazy. It's recruiting? She goes, yes. So my post-traumatic stress is from recruiting. Tinnitus, that little ringing in your ears that you think maybe it's just something that you just hear every day. That's not normal. That's called tinnitus. If you're in high stress jobs that have a lot of noise, security forces, drill instructors, civil engineers, being on the flight line, you have tinnitus. It's the constant ringing that you hear at night when it's dead quiet. You don't hear it during the day because someone as loud as me is talking to you, so it takes away the focus. That is also presumed, okay? Presumed that just because you're in that job, you have this. And guess what? When you do disability claims, the idea is you have to have a service-connected condition that was diagnosed, clear, and a current diagnosis. For people transitioning, great. You already have the current diagnosis, you have the condition. Tinnitus and post-traumatic stress don't have to be diagnosed on active duty. They have to be diagnosed, period. Someone needs to say you have tinnitus. The only way you test tinnitus is I have the ringing in my ears all the time. There's no test that exists for that. Post-traumatic stress, you make an appointment, simple as that. Do a disability claim. I'm here to tell you there's so many people that can help you. People like Sharon, myself, Texas Veteran Commission, Disabled American Veterans, any type of organization that does disability claims, do it. Do not, and I'm going to say this, I'm going to pound this into the ground. Do not pay for someone to do your claim for you. Don't do it. That is your money. That is your right. If you have to pay someone 20%, you walk out that door and find someone else. You can email me at any time and I will help you with any kind of disability claim. I don't care what it is. Okay? It's very easy to do. Please do it. If at the very least, it serves one purpose, and that is income. Okay? Income.
Antony,
Yes.
I apologize. LaQuisha had a question regarding that. She said, what do you do when you're denied or some not acknowledged? How do I start the process over?
Let's talk offline. I'm going to put my email in here right now. And what I'll do is we'll set up a Zoom meeting or a call and we'll talk about it, okay? I don't want to, there's a way to navigate that. Let's see here. I'm having problems typing here. Okay, my email's in there. Shoot me an email. Just say, hey, I talked to you on the Zoom call, and we'll talk one-on-one. I'll get on Zoom if need be, or we can talk on the phone. I'll be more than happy to help you with that. Okay. Who was that? Lakeisha?
Thank you, LaQuisha.
No problem. I got your back. Easy. That's easy.
Thank you.
Okay. But just so and we're running out of time here. I just want to make sure I cap this though. But bottom line is, if it serves any purpose, it's income. Okay. If you're over 50%, that takes care of your medical insurance issue. You know, after 6 months after you separate, you should have TRICARE, give or take. If you have the facility close to you. But after those 6 months, you're on your own. Okay. So definitely do the disability claim so you can at least have that 50%. There are so many things in the state of Texas that you can take advantage of. Send me an email and I'll be more than happy to send you a list. It goes from 10% to 100%, all the things you can apply for in the state of Texas. DV plates, property tax exemptions, CHAMP VA if you don't have insurance. There's just to name a few, okay? Definitely reach out to me and I'll be more than happy to get that to you, no problem.
Anthony.
Yes.
I apologize. If you don't mind adding the fact that a lot of people are concerned that if they apply for something, it's taking money from someone else. Can you talk about how the money is already set to the side?
Yes. Okay, so when I had someone walk into my office and they'd say, hey, I don't want to do disability claims because, I don't want to take money from anyone else. Well, it's complete opposite. Okay, there's money allocated for us to do disability claims. It's there. If you don't use it, guess what? You lose it. They will take that money and earmark it someplace else different if you don't. Plain and simple. And I'll tell you, when it comes to doing disability claims, the tunnel vision applies. Have tunnel vision. You're not her, you're not him, you're not them. You're just you. Okay? You are you. Period. You are not the same as a person next to you, no matter what you've done that were similar. You're not taking anything away from anyone. You're taking something away from yourself if you don't do a disability claim. Okay, period. It has nothing to do with anyone else. Yes, I walk through the Veteran Healthcare Administration hospital and I see my brothers and sisters in arms missing limbs, and it hurts my heart. And there's some that walk through my office, they're at 50% and they're frustrated. And I do the best I can to help them. But at the end of the day, that's all we can do. We can help them and try to give them everything we can, everything of us. But at the end of the day, you have to put yourself in the tunnel. You're you. You need to take care of what you need to take care of for your sake of your family and yourself. Period. Okay, so bottom line, transition. Definitely get out there, sell yourself. Let everyone know who you are and what makes you so amazing. It's time to brag. I know we have a tough time doing that. Brag. Get involved with organizations like RT's organization. Make sure you're doing your disability claim. Don't be afraid to ask questions to any veterans that you run across like myself. We pay it forward, most of us. If we don't, then move on to the next veteran. Okay, but that's really the bottom line when it comes to that.